Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today we are going over my newest deck profile on Plunder Patrols. So this is my first run at them. It's been a lot of fun playing around with them, and I've been playing with this deck for a couple weeks now, and I just gotta say, it's a really cool deck. It has its own unique play style where you're using monsters from your main deck in order to go into monsters from your extra deck, and basically depending on what your opponent has. So if you guys don't know the play style of the deck, I will go over it in pretty good detail. But yeah, basically you're using your monsters, which are your pirates, to tag into your ships in the extra deck. So it's a lot of fun. I really like it. It's all pirate themed. They're these like weird goblin like pirate things, and yeah, they're just a lot of fun. So without further ado, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are sitting at about 750 subscribers at the time of recording. We're getting like, we're 3/4 of the way to hitting 1,000. So if you guys can please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Otherwise, let's get on into the deck profile. Starting off with 3 copies of Whitebeard, the Plunder Patrol Helm. So he is basically your best monster in the deck, or I guess not really nowadays with the newest Plunder Patrol monster. But yeah, this card is just still really, really nice. On your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can summon out one of your monsters from the extra deck, one of your Plunder Patrols, that has the same attribute as a monster in your opponent's graveyard or on their field. And then you attach this as an equip card onto that extra deck monster, which is really cool. Again, like the playstyle of this is really cool. Like it's basically like a metaphor for like the your ship is going to be out on the field, and then your pirate is like the captain of that ship. And yeah, I just think it's really cool how the deck works. So then, along with that, if this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you're able to special summon out another one of your Plunder Patrol monsters from the main deck, which is really cool because this card can tag out with the other monster who can summon it, summon just like it, and that is 3 copies of Redbeard, the Plunder Patrol matey. So he's not quite as good as Whitebeard, but basically what Redbeard does is that he does the same thing as summons a monster from your extra deck, depending on the attributes on your opponent's field and or graveyard. So if your opponent has a dark monster on the field or in the graveyard, you can just tag this out, put it in your spell or trap zone, and equip it to your dark monster from the extra deck. And so along with that, when this card is sent from the hand or main monster zone to the graveyard, then you can attach this as an equip card. So basically any way your Redbeard is going to be attaching onto something. So he's really nice for the deck, but overall these 2 cards just work really great together. You get Whitebeard out, send Whitebeard for something, and then you can just get out Redbeard anyways, and then just extend your plays. So then we are going on to our next Plunder Patrol monster, and that is Bluebeard, the Plunder Patrol Shipwright. So what he does is that he can special summon himself to the field as long as you have a Plunder Patrol monster on the field, which is really nice for just going on into, you have tuners in the deck, so you have tuners and everybody is level 4s, so you can go into really easy level 8 synchro plays or really simple rank 4 plays. So yeah, he's just really nice for the deck to just extend a little bit. And then if he's sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can discard 1 card and then draw another card. So he's really nice for extending your plays, and just sort of like the graveyard setup for this deck is insane. So this deck is a control based deck, so if it doesn't get off correctly, then it's gonna be a pretty quick and simple duel for your opponent to take over you. But when you can get into that grind and set up your graveyard and stuff and keep your resources going, cards like Bluebeard really, really help with the deck. So you got to be playing him at 3 of. And then the Golden Hair, the newest Plunder Patrol from Eternity Code, along with Bluebeard. These 2 were commons in the set, so they're super cheap and affordable, and really, like, these 2 cards are great quality to add to the deck. So what this card does is that when if you send one other Plunder Patrol monster from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard, you can special summon this from your hand. And then also if this card is sitting in your graveyard, you can discard 1 card and special summon this from the graveyard. You can only use either effect once per turn. But overall, like, yeah, this card is just really great for the extension as well. This is actually, like, I said that Whitebeard was like your best card, but actually, like, Golden Hair is really nice because it just can help you extend so darn much. And along with that, just keep in mind that Whitebeard and your Golden Hair are going to lock you into Plunder Patrols until the rest of the turn after you use their effects. But that's really not a problem. We're mainly focusing on the Plunder Patrols in this deck. I'm not playing the Crystron Halqifibrax combos or anything like that because I want this build to be sort of the build that it's going to stick with after the ban list hit. But I am going to be just showing you what you guys can take out if you want to run Halqifibrax. Then going on and playing 2 copies of Silent Angler. Basically, it's just another copy of Bluebeard, to where if you control a water monster, you can special summon this from your hand, but you can't summon anything else from the hand for the rest of the turn. That's really not that big of a deal. Overall, just another great little extender. It's a level 4 water, so it synergizes so good with the deck, going in, helping you go into your Link, Synchro, or XZ plays. It just like really does it all. Then we are going on into sort of like a tech for the deck. Like it's weird to think of Ash Blossom as a tech card, but if you're trying to get into your fire monster, you can go ahead and use Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, because there are other cards in the deck that allow you to extend into your extra deck plays using stuff that's in your graveyard. So if your opponent hasn't ashed you yet, or if they're not using a fire deck, you're kind of screwed. So if you can set up Ash Blossom in your own graveyard, that's going to help you to go on into your fire synchro monster. And yeah, so and anyways, Ash Blossom is just always good in any deck to slow down your opponent's big moves. Now going on into the spells, we are playing 3 copies of Plunder Patrol Shipyard. I really think that these cards are so funny because, like, yeah, like they say shipyard, just like the pirate trope. And there's quite a few of those in the deck. So what this card does, this card is just an insane field spell for the deck. Probably one of the most insane field spells for any archetype, like just for like what it can do for it. So what Shipyard does is that it's going to increase all of your Plunder Patrol monsters by 500 attack for every Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap zones. So that's including all of your monsters that end up getting equipped. So that's really, really nice. The attack boost really does end up like accumulating, especially with your Synchro monster on field. And then also, like, this card has 3 effects. So you have the one continuous effect for the attack boost, and then the other effect is that you can discard a Plunder Patrol card in order to, just discard 1 card to add any Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. So that's really, really nice that you just have to discard any generic card, and then you get a specific Plunder Patrol card. It can be a monster, spell, or trap. Really, really great. And then also, while this card is in the graveyard, you can target one of your Plunder Patrol spell or traps that is on your field in your spell and trap zone and set it, or bounce it back up to your hand, and then you set this card in your field spell zone. So, yeah, overall, like, this deck works really great for just recycling, or this card works really great for recycling itself. It's great as a 3 of in the deck, and like you're never going to run out of it. Like, you should almost always have this in your field spell. Then going on, we were playing 3 copies of Plunder Patrol Shipping. It's like the funniest name in the deck. It's like almost as ridiculous as like Go 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 Gigas and Dodo Dwarf Go 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 Glove in like the Adamantipator deck. But yeah, what this card does is that it helps you to fusion summon into your the new fusion monster from Eternity Code, the Plunder Patrol ship Lease. And then also, while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it from the graveyard in order to add your equip spell onto one of your monsters, or any other Plunder Patrol monster that you want to equip. You can just equip it onto one of your Plunder Patrol monsters that's on the field. So these 2 cards right here are really great Foolish Burial Goods targets, and so we do play 1 copy of Foolish Burial Goods in the deck. Then going on, the equip spell that I was just talking about, which is Emblem of the Plunder Patrol. So this is your card that you can just attach from the deck onto one of your monsters with your shipping. And what this card does is that it adds 500 attack onto the equipped Plunder Patrol monster, and then that monster can't be targeted. So we get some really nice protection from this card. You can put it on your favorite Plunder Patrol monster that's on the field. I generally put this on Mork, the XZ, because he can protect your other stuff, so it's really nice to give him a little protection as well. And then also what you can do is, during your turn, you can send this to the graveyard, and then you can special summon out a monster from your extra deck using using an attribute that is on the field or in the graveyard, in either graveyard. So it's really nice that this card, this was out of Eternity Code as well, and so it kind of helped the deck go from just relying on what your opponent has to letting you rely on your own stuff. So if you have a dark monster in your graveyard or something, or your water monsters, or whatever you have, again, that's why I'm playing the Ash Blossom in the deck, because Ash Blossom synergizes really well with Emblem if you're trying to get into your fire monster. And then so if you do this effect to get out a monster from the extra deck, then you this goes to the graveyard, but the monster that this was equipped to goes onto that monster, the new monster, as an equip card, and then that monster gains 500 attack. So this card, sort of like along with like the ship shape shipping, kind of just like replaces itself. Again, like the graveyard, I guess it's not really graveyard setup, but just sort of like the synergy with this deck is really, really nuts, and it can hit a pretty high ceiling once you get going. Then 3 Called by the Grave, pretty standard. We want to get all of our searches and stuff off, and then just sort of like for consistency increasers, I'm playing 2 Desires and then 2 Salvage. Salvage is so great in this deck because all of our Plunder Patrol monsters, along with Silent Angler, and also our Mork in the extra deck, the XZ monster, have 1500 or less attack. So yeah, the Salvage just works really, really great. Oh, sorry, actually no, Salvage can't work on Mork because he's a dark monster. Ha. But yeah, overall, like the Desires, I don't like running 3 Desires in the deck. You can if you want to. You could take out the last trap card in this deck if you really want to run 3. But overall, I just like this. The main reason, I can't really express this enough, but the main reason why you're running these 2 cards in the deck is because with your extra deck monsters, you have to have Plunder Patrol stuff in your hand to get off their effects. A lot of their effects say like, discard a Plunder Patrol monster in order to do this, or discard a Plunder Patrol card to do this. And so you have to have stuff in your hand. That's why the Salvage is just such an easy way to get your monsters back into your hand, or use your Pot of Desires to extend your stuff. And anyways with that, like you can use your field spell to pick up stuff to your hand anyways also. So overall, like you just have to have these, like these are both +1s. So in card economy, these cards are just fantastic. Yeah, Salvage, great in like your mid to late game. 1 Terraforming because we have the field spell, 1 Foolish Burial and Foolish Burial Goods. The Foolish Burial is usually best for your Golden Hair, the newest Plunder Patrol, and then Foolish Burial Goods, I already explained, use that on your field spell and your ship shipping. I just like saying that card. Then going on for the traps, we are playing 3 copies of Booty. So what Plunder Patrol Booty does is, well, basically it's like a Monster Reborn on both you and your opponent's turn. So once per turn, during either player's turn, you declare 1 attribute and then make one of your opponent's monsters that attribute. And so with that, you can turn your opponent's monster into anything that you want to. And then after that goes off, then you are able to special summon one of your Plunder Patrols back from your graveyard. And then that's when you basically take either your Redbeard or your Whitebeard from the graveyard, summon them onto the field, either one of them, and then use their effect in order to just summon out from your extra deck one of your monsters that has the appropriate attribute to what you need. And so, like, oh my gosh, it just works so good. Like, you have to be playing 3 Booty in the deck. It works so good. Like, if you look on here, all of the pirates look so happy. They're, like, staring at how much booty they have. Like, they're all looking in different directions because there's just so much booty that you get off of this. And Theory right here, we have, like, Redbeard and Whitebeard and, like, just a couple other random guys. There's, like, random elves all over other stuff. But this guy right here, he is going to be a monster at some point. So I'm going to call it, his name's going to be Greybeard, like, you know, like Gandalf the Grey, and then he became Gandalf the White. This is going to be Greybeard, and he's going to be a card someday. I guarantee it. I would really like it if we got, like, 1 more monster for this deck. But, and then just one thing to keep in mind is that if this, if you don't have a Plunder Patrol on the field during the end phase, this card ends up getting destroyed. But either way, like, this card is just so good. You got to be playing it at 3. And yeah, it just helps you to go on into your extra deck plays on your opponent's turn with like the Whitebeard or the Redbeard. And then for our final card in the deck, the one that you can swap out, like I said, if you want to play 3 Desires, but what Plunder Patrol Parity does is that if you control a Plunder Patrol monster, then you get to draw cards up to equal to the number of equipped cards plus 1. So if you have 2 equipped cards, you draw 3 cards, and then you just shuffle back in cards from your hand up to the equal to the same number of equipped cards that you control. So use this, and you just kind of get to revamp your hand a little bit. It doesn't let you +1 or anything because you're obviously using 1 card, but it has like neutral card economy, and it's searchable. It's a discardable card if you need it. And then also, while this card's in your graveyard, if you special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from the extra deck, while this is in the graveyard, you can equip this to the monster, and then it gains 500 attack. So you get a lot of like really simple 500 attack boosts in this deck, but it really pays off and builds up after a while. So anyways, that's going to do it for the 40 card main deck. Now let's get on into the extra deck. Okay, for the extra deck, we are playing, of course, 3 copies of Blackbeard, the Plunder Patrol captain. So I really like playing 3 copies of him. Some people playing him at 2, but you get locked into your Plunder Patrol monsters so often that it's just nice to play a good number of them, and he's your best one to play at 3. So what he does is that he only needs 1 Plunder Patrol monster for his Link summon, but like he requires 2 monsters. So he works really great with the Silent Angler. If you get the Angler on the field and then 1 other Plunder Patrol monster, then you can Link summon into this, no problem. And then as a quick effect with Blackbeard, you can summon 1 of your monsters from the extra deck according to a attribute that your opponent has on the field or in the graveyard, just like you usually do. And then you take 1 of your Plunder Patrol monsters that is on the field and then equip that target to the new monster from the extra deck. So sometimes you end up just taking Blackbeard and putting it on to the new monster, which is fine if you just have something that you really have to go into in the spur of the moment. But even if you just have like with this card on the field, if you just have like Golden Hair on the field, who Golden Hair doesn't actually allow you to use her effects to like summon anything from the extra deck. If you have this on the field, it basically turns this into like a Whitebeard. And then after that effect resolves, you also get to draw 1 card, which is really, really nice. I love that they added that because there's a lot of times where you're going to try to go into Mork with like 2 monsters, but then you end up not having anything in your hand in order to use for his discard. So a lot of the time, the best thing to do is just to go into him, pass turn to your opponent, and then take your Blackbeard, use him to go into Mork, and then Mork is going to, his effect is going to resolve, allow you to draw a card, and then if you draw into a Plunder Patrol card, then your Mork's effect is going to be live, and then you can use his discard effect. So really, really nice. Then going on, I'm playing 3 copies of Mork. I got 1 proxy right now just because I ended up changing a few things in the deck. But yeah, I really think that this is a card that can be bounced up to 3. Some people play him at 2, but, because he is a dark attribute, so since dark is like the most prevalent attribute in the game, you're going to be going into him a lot, and he's probably the most useful compared to and then there's like the fusion monster list, but what Mork does is that when it's on the field, it only requires 2 level 4 monsters, and then you can discard 1 Plunder Patrol card to target an effect monster your opponent controls and just banish it, which is really great. And if you have, and then you get to add a Plunder Patrol spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So the greatest thing with their discard effects is that they usually recycle anyways. So, and then you can send stuff like your shipping to the graveyard with his effect, which is going to set up the shipping in the graveyard. So really nice. Again, the graveyard setup in this deck is just really, really nuts. And then also keep in mind that this is a quick effect as long as you have an equipped spell on this. So again, like you go into this and now you have an equip card onto it. So like it's going to be a quick effect most of the time. And then also with his XZ effect, if a Plunder Patrol card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach material from him instead. So there's a lot of great moments where you want to try to hard summon into him so that he has the materials so you can have a little bit of defense. But overall, like, he's just super easy to go into because he's a dark. That's why I'm playing him at 3 of. Then going on, we were playing 2 copies of Plunder Patrol List. What List does is that both of its effects are quick effects. This is the new card from Eternity Code, and what List does is that you can, as a quick effect, special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your hand or from your spell or trap zone if it's being used as an equip card. And then also with that, you can, if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can discard a Plunder Patrol card to negate the activation, and then if you do, destroy it. And then after that effect resolves, you get to add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. So then, with both of those effects, if you use the negation effect first, then you can add a new Plunder Patrol card to your hand, and then use its other quick effect during the main phase to special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your hand. And then if you go into Whitebeard or Redbeard, then you can again extend your plays and go on into another ship. So yeah, just once this deck gets going, it's really, really solid. Then we're going on into 2 copies of Bran. I've talked about this card quite a bit. It is the fire monster. It's a synchro monster. Just requires a tuner and a non-tuner, level 8. So again, synergizes perfect with the deck. The only thing that this doesn't really help with is with the Ash Blossom, ironically, because it's a level 3. But once you set it up in your graveyard, you can just use your Blackbeard to just help you zoom right into this, and it works. So, or sorry, you have to use your emblem of the Plunder Patrol equip spell. But what this card does is that all other fiend monsters you control gain an extra 500 attack. While this card's on the field. So again, just the attack boost is just gnarly with this deck. And then also you can discard a Plunder Patrol card to target a spell or trap that your opponent controls and banish it. So you have 1 monster banish, 1 spell or trap banish, and then a monster negate with this. So this deck is just so great for the control style. And then after that effect resolves, again, just how this deck recycles, you then get to add a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck to your hand. And then this is a quick effect as long as you have a Plunder Patrol card on this. So yeah, these 4 cards in the extra deck are just really nuts. I love them, and I really like them at these ratios. Then going on into the non-Plunder Patrol cards, I'm playing 1 copy of Salamangreat Almirage. Almirage is basically in here in case you draw into a copy of your Golden Hair or your Bluebeard or something, and then you just have to link it away and then use Golden Hair's discard effect to summon it back to the field. Take these 2, a Plunder Patrol and any monster, link them away, and then go on into your Blackbeard, and then your plays are going to go off from there. So Almirage, great in the deck. Also, again, he's a fire, so he's going to help you to set up your graveyard for your Plunder Patrol ship Bran. Then we were playing 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. We're playing Waters in the deck, so you actually can get the attack boost off there. And again, 500. What's with the whole thing about while this card has material that was attached as originally water, all water monsters you control gain 500 attack. Everything's just going up by 500 attack. Then I'm playing the Bahamut Shark, and totally awesome in the deck. Again, you don't have to play these cards. They're really not that important because you're usually locked into Plunder Patrols. And then lastly is 1 Adamancipator Dragite. This card is super cheap right now, and it's really great for the deck because as long as you have a water monster in the graveyard, and also this is a level 8, so it synergizes. If you have a water monster in the graveyard as a quick effect, you can negate 1 spell or trap effect per turn. So he's really, really great in here as well. Then, like I mentioned, if you guys want to play the Crystron Halqifibrax combo, you can just go ahead and take out the Bahamut Shark, the Totally Awesome, and the Abyss Dweller, Adamancipator Risen Dragite, and then your extra copy of Mork. And then with that, you'll put in Halqifibrax, F.A. Dawn Dragster, Herald of the Arclight, Martial Metal Marcher, and Link Cross. And then you can just take out your Plunder Patrol party for the Mecha Phantom Beast O-Lion. But overall, I like playing the more pure build. You guys can do it however you want, but this is how I like it. But basically, guys, that's going to do it for the deck profile. Thank you guys very much for joining. Again, please subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know if there's any combo videos or anything that you guys want to see with this deck. And thank you guys very much for joining. Common Collector out.